This one we'll call Friends of the Family, okay? I thought it was quite fitting with all that I'm entertaining, the notions I entertain, and what my channel and my drive in life to do is to help mentally unstable people, preferably children, because I feel I can get across to them, There's not much you can do for people once they're older. They get stuck in their ways. Anyways, I thought it's quite fitting, Friends of the Family. It lays in line of mental stability and mental instability. Let me share some stories with you. So, when I was younger, first off, I was bar mitzvahed, and I had met some childhood friends. One which I've gotten back in touch over Facebook, Steve Pavlo, great guy. Steve and Jeff Pavlo were guys my age, and I met them in synagogue in Temple. Their parents and my parents were friends. We hung out a lot. So I just got in touch with Steve here recently on Facebook. I haven't seen or heard from them. I even spoke with their dad recently. Talked to their dad a month or so ago. That was pretty neat. Like I said, we were childhood friends. They were friends of the family. We were friends they were the Pavlos, and they lived a couple of houses down and across the street from Cheryl and Sam. Cheryl and Sam were were one of my parents' best friends, okay? Their best friends are Cheryl and Sam and Gertie and Hugh. And there's a couple other. My parents have quite a few groups of friends, or used to. The Pavlos were one of my parents' friends. Cheryl and Sam were very close with my parents. And Sam passed away from cancer roughly a year and something ago. Sam was Cheryl's husband. They had a kid. He was quite younger than me. But they were good people. And we spent a lot of time together growing up. Holidays, they're Jewish too, so obviously, we're going to bond. So we've spent many, many holidays with the Andrews, Cheryl and Sam Andrews. Well, Sam passed away with cancer over a year ago now, and it wouldn't be too soon after his poor wife, Cheryl, was heartbroken and when her husband passed, she was spending a lot of time with my parents, right? Like all the time. They were going out to eat several times a week. She was lost, and my parents, like I said, were very close, so they were there for her. She passed away this past year. Okay, these are two people I'm used to seeing several times a year. There are more people that have left in my life now. So, and then there was Gertie and Hugh, okay? My mom worked at the school system in the cafeteria after I graduated high school. She used to do computer work, and then she went and worked for the school systems. They had better insurance. So she met this lady, Gertie. Her and Gertie were friends for many, many decades now. Gertie and Hugh, I can't remember what Hugh did for a living, but anyways, Gertie and Hugh are very good friends with my parents, right? Then again, they spent a lot of time together too, and maybe even more so now that Cheryl and Sam have passed away. go and visit with my parents like a week or two ago and have sitting down talking with my parents, and they tell me what's going on with Gertie and Hugh. Gertie's lived one of the another craziest lifestyles you couldn't even imagine this poor lady's endured. She's from Germany, right? She's my parents' age. She's in her 80s. She was around in the Holocaust days. She had to eat out of, they literally ate out of trash cans. She couldn't eat a sweet potato. I just found some of this out. The sweet potatoes grows in the ground, and it was, I guess, prevalent or whatnot, but it was one of the things, maybe one of the only foods that she could get. They'd pull sweet potatoes out of the ground. Well, when she got out of that situation and moved to America, she couldn't, they nauseated her. So, like I said, Gertie was around in the Holocaust era, in the Holocaust times in Germany, and she was one of the survivors, one of who escaped, and her family had a treacherous life. I don't recall all the details. I just know they're all gruesome and horrifying, and it's not exactly my cup of tea. It's not what this is about. Gertie moves here from Germany, and when she does, her lifestyle changes for the better. But she had gone so many years of having to eat, on the go and out of trash cans and here and there, whatever. Anyways, she got to where she would have to shovel her food down because they were in hiding, this kind of stuff, right? So she had bad stomach problems. She would have to eat. I'm sure besides that, there's a cop. Besides that, I'm sure her nerves were bad, whatnot, whatever. Gertie had a really hard life, okay? Let's fast forward some years. Just now, I just spoke with my parents, and I'm having to put the phone down because the cop's next to me. Anyways, so my mom tells me Gertie's got 2 sons and a daughter, okay? Right? With me now. Gertie's got 2 sons and a daughter. I don't recall the story exactly with her daughter, because the ones with her sons were horrifying enough that whatever her daughter had going on, it wasn't severe enough for me to remember or disdain the information when my mom told me what happened with her 2 boys. So these are guys that I grew up with and knew. Like I said, they were Gertie and Hugh were my parents' maybe best friends. Cheryl and Sam were too. They had like 2 best friends. Cheryl and Sam, Gertie and Hugh were like best friends. So we grew up together. I've eaten at her house a million times. I've eaten with her family a million times when I was younger. So one of her sons develops maybe cancer. Don't hold me to it. He develops a life-threatening disease where he has to go, or he's going to die. He's not going to make it. He's got to get an organ from out of state, right? Got to get an organ from out of state. So, he's pretty much on his deathbed, right? And he's waiting for this organ. It could have been a liver. I'm not 100% sure. It was definitely it was a organ, and he was going to die without it. They waited. It took some time. They finally found the organ. It was out of state. The doctor, his doctor flew out of state to, if I recall correctly, somewhere Las Vegas-ish, out that way. Doctor flies all the way out to Vegas, gets the place, gets the thing, gets to Oregon, gets on the planes on his way home, and gets the phone call. He didn't make it. He never got his organ. He died in the hospital. That was the first son, okay? The second son, I'll have to tell you further time because, I got so much going on that I can't remember details as good as I would like to. But what definitely stuck out, if nothing else, the importance of this is Gertie's son was, I don't want to speak on him. I'll tell you the truth later. Either he was in the service or, maybe he came back from the service and he bought a house and he had a house and he was mowing Gertie's yard every weekend. He went away and he'd come back. Anyways, he was like a good mama's boy, right? He'd come over every weekend and do Gertie's landscape yard work, mow the yard every week for, their whole life since he moved out. All of a sudden, he stops coming around. They don't see him. He doesn't show up anymore. So Gertie's worried. Gertie and Hugh are worried. This is not the norm. So they call, and he doesn't answer. And they call and call and call, and he doesn't answer. Well, I think this is where the sister maybe comes into play. Like I said, I'm not 100% on all the details, but the gist of the story is someone else got in touch with their son, and he flipped his shit. He flipped his marbles, went AWOL. The guy bought a house and was all there that way, but then he turned around and was talking to his sister and telling him how bad he hated mom and dad, hated Gertie, and wish they dropped dead, and just all kind of crazy shit, right? And this just out of from nowhere, okay? He loses his shit, and all of a sudden for some reason he can't stand mom and dad anymore. He's grown to beyond to hate him and despise him. He's gone mental, batshit crazy for real, okay? So he buys the house, something to do with the house, and he's driving down the road. And he's now being known, made it known, putting the word out. He's carrying guns around. He feels he needs some extra protection for whatever reason, and now the words go around that he's packing heat, which comes more than quite odd. Here's the drum roll. He gets pulled over by the police because he was speeding or doing something. He basically got himself pulled over. Was his intentions now to get pulled over by the police and get out and let you guess. Yes, got out of his car and pulled Dirty Harry and had it out with the police, and they shot and killed him. And if this is not bad enough, Cobb County, Georgia, which is where we live, it's the main one. There's Cobb County, there's Fulton County. Cobb County is suing Gertie and Hugh. Cobb County took that house. That house would have went to Gertie and Hugh because it's his parents, and he just doesn't have a wife, next of kin, whatever. His sister would have got her, his mom and dad would have got it. Cobb County sued them and took that. Not only took that house, that's not all of it. I don't know the rest of it. All I know is so far they've sued Gertie and Hugh and got the house, and it's not over. If the poor lady has not lived the worst life imaginable, imagine burying both of your freaking, not one, both of your sons. Imagine one of them wanting to get themselves murdered by the police, and then having to deal with the police and in court and in battle. And so I'm thankful to God, after all I've been through and seen and done in my life, that I still have my marbles. Because this is the kind of shit that really wakes me the fuck up, okay? This is the kind of shit that's driven me to go over and beyond just my little 9 to 5 and clocking out and going home. All these people are dying around me. Used to be quite very unfrequently. These days, and if you didn't know, and you don't know, and you're new to me, one of my best friends just killed himself a couple of months ago. This is what kicked off I Am ADD's Advocate. This is what kicked me off. My best friend killed himself, okay? The guy was in LD class with all through high school, and when we got out of high school, we were even in a funny farm together. He was like, we shared that kind of bond. Well, he lost the battle. He killed himself 2-3 months ago. Aaron McDowell. Alright, rest in paradise, Aaron McDowell. That's a stinger, okay? It's a big stinger. What could be so bad that somebody would kill themselves? Live all these years up until 48 years old and then kill yourself. I wanted to die at 15, and for those of you who don't know, I was suicidal as a kid. It was very hard to have an ADD and deal with and fit in. Was why I do this, okay? And I used to tell myself I wouldn't make it till I was 21. I wouldn't be, smart enough or capable of buying a house, providing for myself, let alone a family. I just didn't have the, I had low self-esteem. I couldn't see it in myself that I could do that. So to make it to 48 years old and then kill yourself, my heart and my head hurts. And I was an addict for many years. Many years I was a drug addict, okay? I just cleaned my act up a year and a half ago because I used up my 9 lives. Health-wise, I've had shit that I haven't even talked about yet. I had caught necrotizing pneumonia on top of something else while I was using, and it almost killed me. And that's not the only bad incident. I had to have 2 major surgeries. I had to have a baseball cut out of my arm. I'm really not comfortable telling some of it, but the gist of it is, let's just say I was brought back, okay? We'll just leave it at that for now. So, yeah, mental health, friends, family. You guys are now my new family. Thank God I have my parents. They're in their 80s, and I'm pushing 50. Help me do something with this, guys. I love you.